The House Speaker scolding parliamentarians for breach of COVID-19 protocols. The opposition responds to the Speaker's rant, and another government office closes due to a positive case of coronavirus. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian with your Jcn News for this Wednesday, April 28th. Thanks for staying with us. House Speaker Jcn Moultrie not mincing words during House of Assembly's brief proceedings this morning, scolding parliamentarians while accusing them of being in breach of their own protocols. Speaker Moultrie calling it a sad day as he revealed that the clerk of the House, David Forbes, whom he says is close to him, tested positive for COVID-19 on Tuesday. He adds that the clerk was symptomatic at last week's proceedings. Now, the Speaker's comments in Parliament comes despite during an interview with Jcn's news team yesterday, where he revealed that he himself was self-isolating until May 2nd.
We established a certain physical distancing within this Parliament. The Speaker announced those protocols, and some authority who believes that they have jurisdiction over the Speaker's jurisdiction in this legislative branch has caused numerous chairs to be added to this assembly in breach of the physical distancing protocol. Yet we expect the public to abide by such protocols.
In September of last year, the Speaker suggested to Parliament that it pass a resolution to allow House proceedings to take place in a hybrid form, like many other parliaments across the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association.
But then again, the Speaker's recommendation was either ignored or refused. So we find ourselves today meeting in a Parliament that can be contaminated as a consequence of the coronavirus. In a Parliament that has not been sanitized since we discovered that the clerk of this Parliament has been affected.
Speaker Moultrie says the most challenging matter was not being able to reach Leader of Government Business in the House, Renwood Wells, and Member for Killarney, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, on Tuesday. He says he sought to find out whether exposed staff members, whom he claims are in a challenged position financially to take an RT-PCR test, would be able to go to a government clinic and have those tests paid for by the government. The Speaker says the member for Killarney only responded with a text message that read, "Noted." The Speaker also notes that this matter is further exacerbated by the lack of independence for the legislative branch, adding that an anomaly has been created where the clerk's salary is below that of subordinate staff. That said, he's labeling this as a grave anomaly, undermining the administrative authority of the Parliament.
Despite the Speaker indicating that the staff of this Parliament should be in quarantine as a result of them not being able to take the COVID test, many of them, Ms. Lightfoot is called upon to be here this morning. In breach of the request or instructions by the Speaker that the staff should be in quarantine.
This, the Speaker says, is his final straw when it comes to the disrespect of the institution and the office of the Speaker. With this in mind, he also cited House Rule 88, subsection 9, which states that if, in the opinion of the Speaker, the behavior of any member creates disorder or a level of disrespect to the Parliament, the Speaker is authorized to have the circumstance corrected and to adjourn Parliament until such circumstances are corrected.
Now, I don't necessarily pick fights or wars. But if you want a war, you can get a war.
Parliament was subsequently adjourned to Monday, May 3rd at 10 a.m. Well, Opposition Deputy Leader Chester Cooper sounding the alarm immediately after the comments of the House of Assembly Speaker this morning. The official opposition were visibly absent during the House of Assembly's brief sitting as they contend that the government insisted that Parliament meet despite the reporting of a member of staff contracting COVID. Our Laurencia Smith sat with the member for Exumas and Ragged Island this afternoon and files this report.
Opposition Deputy Leader and Member of Parliament for Exuma and Ragged Island, Chester Cooper says he's very concerned about the unhealthy relationship between the House Speaker Holliston Moutry and the government. His candid remarks comes on the heels of the House Speaker calling out the Leader of Government Business and the Prime Minister for the lack of response on the course of action for parliamentarians should take following a staff member of the House of Assembly testing positive for COVID-19. Mr. Cooper contains that the entire matter shows a lack of compassion for parliamentarians and staffers at the House.
I was particularly alarmed by what appears to be insensitivity on the part of the Prime Minister, on the part of the Cabinet, the executives, who the Speaker reportedly reached out to get free testing for the staff and to get the Parliament sanitized. It is concerning to me that they did not see it necessary.
The Speaker claims that he reached out to the Prime Minister on Tuesday to discuss Wednesday's proceedings and got a one-word response. Noted, Mr. Cooper says the Prime Minister is simply showing disregard for the health protocols that he put in place.
In the backdrop of there being an increase in cases, a third wave as we call it, even in the face of this, we see a level of insensitivity that's absolutely stunning.
With no opposition members in the House this morning, when asked if he felt the lower chamber should have met today as the building had not yet been sanitized, Mr. Cooper says this.
I was surprised after reading the reports in the press that the House convened as normal today. And I was even more alarmed that given the set of circumstances of the staffers, etc., that it seemed to carry on in the normal manner.
The Deputy Leader calls on this minister-led administration to deal with the matter so that the work of Parliament may continue.
It is appalling in 2021 for the Speaker of the Parliament to have to get approval or clearance or funding from the Prime Minister or the Cabinet Office to sanitize the Parliament or to authorize testing for his employees. It is pathetic.
For much of the pandemic, the House Speaker has advocated for a hybrid model, and the Deputy Leader of the Opposition agrees. I'm Laurencia Smith for Jcn News.
Well, in our national COVID-19 update, 10,349. That's the new COVID-19 numbers of cases as the Ministry of Health confirms 63 cases for Monday, April 26th and 66 for Tuesday, April 27th. That's a staggering 129 cases in 2 days. The bulk of those cases confirmed for New Providence with a total of 104. 14 confirmed on Grand Bahama, 5 on Long Island, and 1 on Bimini, and 5 with locations pending. A further breakdown of the cases shows that 60 of the confirmed cases are males and 69 are females. Active cases now tally at 652. 50 of those cases are hospitalized, 46 moderately ill, while 4 of them are in intensive care at Doctors Hospital. The death toll remains at 198, and with 95 recoveries between Monday and Tuesday, recovered cases tally at 9,421. Since March of 2020, 86,130 tests have been completed. The Department of Immigration forced to close its doors to the general public due to a positive case of COVID-19 being confirmed at the Department of Immigration Hawkins Hill. Effective today, Wednesday, April 28th to Monday, May 3rd, the office will be closed for deep cleaning and sanitization. Immigration officials say the safety of staff and clients is their #1 priority and apologizes for any inconvenience caused. All clients holding appointments for Wednesday, April 28th, Thursday, April 29th, and Friday, April 30th are asked to contact the agency's call center at 225-5337 to reschedule appointments, or send an email to Immigration Public Relations Unit at bahamas.gov.bs to request rescheduling. Further, all online services will not be disrupted for the indicated period. You're watching JCN News. When we return, the government's extending unemployment assistance and the cleanup of Port-au-Ski in the aftermath of a fire begins. Stay with us.